considering 2017-2018 financial reports. And this is in line with Article 2298, which requires Parliament to act within 3 months of receipt of the Auditor General's reports. In the past, Parliament has not been timely. We have been as late as 4 years, or in some cases as late as 5 years. The reason why we have decided to condense these sittings and even incorporate the aspect of written responses is to allow us to take a decision within 3 months. And then after 3 months, we can convey our recommendations to the House or to the necessary bodies to take action. And so you might feel harassed, but we are also harassed by the Constitution, which gives us only 3 months. We also reckon that there is no way we shall hold you to account to comply with the Constitution when we are not in compliance. So I hope you understand that this is a process that has to be done. I also hope that the County Assembly of Migori is also taking action in line with that article, because it gives the County Assembly 3 months as well. We have had some very interesting revelations through this audit process. A week or two back, we had Kiambu County, where an issue emerged on budget execution. This has generated a lot of interest and a lot of heat, and I must say a lot of drama, particularly from the public. Thanks to the efforts of the media, it emerged that close to 6 or 7 other counties were having similarly bizarre budget lines. And this forced the Council of Governors to attempt to investigate the causes of those bizarre budget lines. The Senate has got no problem with the Council of Governors sitting together, because I know it is a caucus for the governors, sitting together and discussing issues of mutual and common interest. I hope that whatever the Council of Governors is doing on this particular matter is not to rewrite the audit reports, because the audit reports, once tabled in the House, they cannot be amended. I hope what the COG is doing is not to try to trash the Auditor General. This is a constitutional office that must be given the protection and the recognition that it deserves. I also hope that the Auditor General, in the context of these discussions with the COG, is not going to find himself in a situation where he's disowning his own reports, because that then would be a tragedy for this country. So I encourage the COG to proceed in its own consultations. But there are only 2 things I would want to encourage the COG not to attempt to do. Number 1 is to direct the Senate on how it's going to do its work. And number 2 is to direct governors not to appear before this committee. I'm very glad that the governor of Migori has appeared before this committee, because responsibility or accountability is individual. When we send funds to counties, it does not go to Council of Governors. It hits a county revenue fund. And so, Governor Obado, you have done the right thing, and the Senate acknowledges and appreciates that you have presented yourself to account for the monies that have been spent in Migori County. And I also want to appeal to the other governors who are scheduled to appear before this committee from tomorrow and subsequent days. Come to the Senate. The role of the Senate is to protect the interests of counties and their governments. Indeed, everyone knows that Senate has proposed that counties should get 330 billion shillings, as opposed to the 310 billion offered by the Treasury. That is part of our duty of defending and protecting the interest of counties. But it cannot be that the Senate is required when more money is needed and not required when it comes to issues of accountability. So I want to hope that what we have read in the media was misreporting. But seeing Governor Obado here assures me that governors know that they've got individual responsibility for the funds that they manage. We had made directions to the Auditor General to conduct a special audit in the matter of Kiambu. That position has not changed. In the course of this week, we shall schedule a meeting with the Auditor General to agree on objectives and scope and timelines for that special audit. Any other county where we feel that there are issues emerging that were not treated properly, we shall not hesitate to request the Auditor General to conduct a special audit, be it in Migori, Nairobi, or any other county that we might come across. Migori County, we have received audit reports now for 5 years. In 2013-2014, the Auditor General did not really give an opinion, because 2013-2014 was more or less the first audit. But the auditor tells me that 2013-2014 overall, The opinion was qualified. And qualified is not, it's not bad because the best is unqualified. In 2014-2015, the opinion of the Auditor General was adverse. So moving from qualified to the worst, which is adverse. In 2015-2016, the opinion was a disclaimer, meaning that sufficient evidence was not provided to support expenditure. 2016-2017, disclaimer. 2017-2018, disclaimer. So we are dealing with a situation where for 3 successive years, the Auditor General has reported to Parliament that he has not been given sufficient evidence to support the expenditure of close to 21 billion Kenya shillings. We are not talking of small money. We are talking of 21 billion, enough to build Aurora and Kimwaror dams. So it's a lot of money. And the Auditor General has not been satisfied through documentation that that money was used appropriately. We therefore want to spend the day today and find out why there was a disclaimer in 2017-2018 and whether there is any mitigation that would vary the findings of the Auditor General. We shall proceed as follows. After you've made your opening remarks, there'll be some reactions from members, and then after that, we shall go direct to the Auditor General's reports. We might not deal with every single issue as they arise, but we'll pick the issues on the basis of
on a poor note, because I was not very, very pleased with certain remarks that I've been seeing, and the recent one being remarks attributed by none other than yourself. Like you recall that I think over the weekend, you went for some public function, and then you decided to give me as a very bad example. When you are talking about the counties and accountability, and then singling out Obado and Migori County, I don't think that was fair to me. So it really gave me a lot of heavy heart in coming to appear before you, because those prejudices, I don't know whether you have now shed them out or they are still with you. So it is very, very important that you as senators, you should be supporting devolution. You should not be seeing the governors as just very, very corrupt individuals, people who cannot manage anything. We are not saying that we don't want to be accountable. We want to be accountable. But please, do it within some reasonable parameters. Instead of telling the public very, very imaginary things, very, very embarrassing things, I think you need to do your due diligence. I want to recall what my colleague went through here, the governor for Kiambu. I saw what happened to him, and I was really very, very sympathetic, because all of us know the processes that must be undertaken for funds to be released from the National Treasury. So when a governor comes here and then you decide to roast them on things that you know cannot happen, it is very, very unfair. And when a chairman, I saw how you are organized and how you are reading those things. State House budget, Mara, Southern Sudan support. That was very unfair. The damage you caused to that governor is irreversible. It is very difficult now to wash that thing from the public knowledge. And here you are. I don't know what you are gaining by that. So when I was coming here, I had those things in my mind, whether you are also coming to tell me that I've also made a budget for my state house at home, and some peacekeeping somewhere. So let's work together. Let's support devolution. And, Bwana Chairman, we all know where the counties are coming from. We started from that level where we were complaining about inadequacy of staff, the staff that were inherited with inadequate capacities and abilities to perform certain functions. And we are saying trying to build those blocks. I can't say that we are 100% as at now. We are still moving on. This accountability that you are talking about, let everybody be accountable. But let us not hoodwink Kenyans that it is only the governors who are corrupt. Actually, one time it will even force me to read for you the Bible. Professor, you are a Christian. You read the Bible. I'll read the Bible for people so that they may know that castigating others for no apparent reason is not good. Otherwise, Bwana Chairman, out of what the Auditor General highlighted, I think we are on the right path. We have taken all the necessary steps to ensure that we confirm with the requirements and we keep proper records. It is my desire that I get the unqualified reports, and I think come 2019, 2020, my accounts will be qualified. I'm working towards that. Otherwise, there are circumstances that may be beyond somebody's control that may warrant the kind of adverse reports that you have mentioned that Migori County has been receiving. So for today, I've come here to present the audited accounts for 2017-2018, and I want to promise that the others that you have demanded will also be availed. I also want us to agree with the position that Honorable Oparanya has taken. That is my chairman at the COG. Actually, wherever he is and seeing me here, I think he's equally very, very disappointed because he has a very bad experience with the Senate. When he was brought in here, I think that was in the last parliament, his own senator brought him to roast him. That was very unfair. For example, now I have my senator here. He can't come here to roast me. And Bwana Chairman, I hope that if you will attempt to roast me, you will also give me time to roast him because he's one of the guys.
He doesn't manage public funds,
Yeah,
so just proceed in an orderly and cautious fashion.
Bwana Chairman, he manages negatively because the counties are expected to raise a lot of own revenue. But if now my own incites the public not to collect, and here I'm required to collect a lot of funds, Bwana Chairman, that is bad. That is very bad, and I think that is something that should be condemned. If I can be given time to play for you some clip here about...
Governor, we shall deal with issues highlighted by the Auditor General, not extraneous issues.
Yeah, but Chairman,
so
you gave me time to give my opening remarks.
I am guiding you. And Governor, just a minute.
Okay, now
just listen to me. Listen to me for 30 seconds.
I'm through with my opening remarks.
You are through. Thank you. We have been extremely patient. Those who have covered this committee would
encourage you to interact more closely with Senate, because in Senate you might be heard nationally, and the issues you raise in Senate could well assist the people of your county and other counties. I am sure there is a narrative out there that governors are wasting money, governors are corrupt. This is the platform through which you can, in an orderly way, get heard and clear or erase that kind of impression. So I want to ask you not to take it as a personal affront to be invited here. Take it as an opportunity where you will be heard, where you will be able to articulate the responses you have for the public money that are placed at your disposal. I also want to say that your invitation here is not actuated by ill will or any personal malice by anybody. So be at ease. You have been invited here to explain issues that have been methodically and scientifically raised by the Office of the Auditor General. And I'm sure the distinguished senators will give you a proper hearing. Kenyans will listen to how you explain these things, and the explanation you give here is better than the explanations you give in public rallies or in other places, because this is an institution of record. Otherwise, those are the remarks I wanted to make. Finally, I was over the weekend with the chair in a function that you mentioned, where you claimed that the chair exhibited biases against you. If I recall, the chair did not actually mention Migori or any county adversely. The chair's parting shot was that governors are individually accountable and not COG, which is accountable. And since you are the governor who had been invited next, the chair was simply saying that seize that moment, come and clear with the committee. Do not get misled by the remarks of the COG chair that you should not come. He has not been invited, and there will be no issue relating to his non-attendance because he had not been invited. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Comments on your submissions. On the issue of Waitito, I'm on record saying that is laziness in terms of the governor and also the staff. And if we find similar things here, I'll also will not hesitate to use the same words, because the Auditor General does not generate financial statements. The financial statements which are attached to the Auditor General report originates from the county governments. Number two, you've indicated that there is a position you've taken as a Council of Governors, and that you are worried about what your chair would say. Let me remind you that the Senate is not subject to what a group of governors in a club can decide. We are guided by the Constitution, and we shall follow the Constitution to the letter. We only look at the documents you provide. Article 96 is very, very, very clear. Our role here is to defend the interest of counties and also to ensure that you as a county government spend the money, Wanjiko's money, appropriately. We are here as part of the accountability cycle, which we are accountable to Wanjiko in making sure that where there are issues, then we can be able to come with serious recommendations. If your staff took a template from the national government and use those vote heads to be able to report to the expenditures, the only way we can do is to go with what is being presented by your staff. But we will not come and say, Governor, here in your financial statements, you made a mistake. So I hope that we can be able to look at each case by case, because your history in terms of the financial statements that has been presented to the Auditor General, they have all been, majority of them have been disclaimers, which means there have been a limitation of scope. If you cannot provide the auditors with backup information, then how do you expect the governor to render an opinion? So I think, Chair, I'll stop there and now get into the details of your submissions.
Let's first hear from Senator Fatuma Dulo.
I've seen you have very qualified people, and I believe you have eaten books, so to speak, in quote. The report that the chair was reading here, the ones you are referring to, is open secret. If you go to the website of the Auditor General, that is the information that is there. The Senate does not produce financial statements. Even today, as you have come, we will be looking at your financial statement. If the auditor has not picked some of the issues, we will highlight them and ask the auditor, how come that you did not pick up this issue? We are not here just to come and talk for the sake of talking. We will go deeper and look at even those financial statements. So when we see those issues in the financial statement, like the chair did last time, and we highlighted them, it is not because we wanted to shame anybody. We wanted to fight facts, which we'll still get to. So be informed, Governor, that we are not here to witch hunt anybody. We are given information like you have come with information. If we find something that is not adding up in that document, we will definitely get to the bottom of it. I think, Mr. Chair, that's what I would want to do.
Very well said. Senator